Hello everyone, welcome to CodeCrazily. And in the previous lecture, we saw what are the various types of constructors, how to create a constructor, and different types of it, and what the constructors will do. So in today's lecture, we're going to see about methods. Okay, like how to pass a method value, like what is meant by passing value to the method and all. Okay, let's start our today's lecture. If you first of all, I'm gonna create a new project and I'm gonna name it as something called passing or anything. Okay, it's your wish, whatever you name it is. Um, yeah, and to do this because it looks clean when all these things are gone, comments are gone. That's why I tend to do this a lot. Yeah. Yep. Now, see, uh, actually, while what is meant by passing is we giving the value to the method, giving the value to the method. Yesterday we saw in a previous lecture we saw in a rectangle we pass the values of length and breadth while in the constructor. In the same way, we can pass the value to the constructor or a method from our main function. Okay, let's see how we we'll go through the same example, like finding the area of the rectangle. Um, I just gave the wrong namings. It's fine. It's okay. Let's say I have length and breadth. Okay. Or else why don't we create another class outside my main class? Okay, I will create my another class rectangle outside the main class. Oh, sorry, not outside yes, outside the main method, but inside the class here. I will create. Okay, I will create it inside the this class, another rectangle class. Okay, here I'm gonna give length, inch, breadth, and I also give a method public inch computer area. Okay. Computer area. This is my method, and I will return. Sorry, I will return length into breadth. Okay. This is the basic code yesterday in the previous lecture we did. Now, what I'm going to say is how we will pass some, how we will get the object values to my method or constructor. See, to give the values to the constructor or method, we basically have two types. There are two types. First is pass by value, and second one is pass by reference. Okay, pass by value and pass by reference. For example, there is the here we have compute area function or method, right? compute area and 1 minute. It will take, let's say, it will take length and breadth. Okay, there is my compute area function, and it will take length and breadth when we call the function. Let's say int compute area with the length and breadth. Now, what I'm in the main function, this is my main function, and in the main function, uh, I have called the compute area with the dimensions 15 and 20, or else let's say the user created another variables in the main function int length equals to 15 into breadth equals to 20, and I have passed here length and breadth while calling the function. Okay, so what happens is when in the main function, when length and breadth are created, let's say in a memory, there will be two memory spaces with 102 and 104. Let's say it's not mandatory that they should be continuous. I'm just giving for reference. Okay. Here length 15 and breadth 20 will be created. Right. Like this memory will be allocated for these two cases. And when I pass this length and breadth to my this function, it means when I call, then what happens is again another length and breadth will be created, another spaces in another memory. Like let's say 201 and 203. Here again another memory will be created and 1520 will be stored because I have given here 15 and 20 from my main function. Then it will do all the operations. It means, for example, I updated here my length value as 30. Then the length in 201 will be updated, not the length in 102. So that's the difference. These are the local variables. Okay, local variable means it is local in this function only. It does not do anything with the main function. That's why pass by value means we are just passing the values, not the actual location of the values. Okay, so that if you change here also, it won't change here. It will just change here. Then the results will vary. But what is meant by pass by reference means in pass by reference, I will actually give my address. I will actually give my address. It means here in compute area, I'm gonna store it as a pointers. Pointer A and pointer B. It means pointer means it will refer to address. It will refer to address. Address means 102. So here what I should give is I should give pass the 102 and 104 so that this length and this breadth will go into directly this area only. It won't create another area. It will go to this area only, and hence if you change now, if you change length equals to 30, it will actually change here. Okay, that's the difference between pass by value and pass by reference. So why the hell did I say all these things right now means, let's see, there will be two ways to pass the content of an object. Okay, let's see how. First of all, in the previous lecture we saw if we create another constructor, if we create a constructor with the inch length, inch breadth, then this dot length is equals to length and this dot breadth is equal to breadth. Correct? This is the thing we saw yesterday. It means we're actually giving the values here, passed by values, not a reference. Okay, it means we are giving the passed by values. So, what are the values that we can give passed by our primitive data types? You are remember primitive data types: int, long, int, character, boolean, double. These are all primitive data types. We can actually give them by passed by value. Now, what if I create like this? What if I create something like this? It means I am passing here the reference variable. In the previous lecture, do you remember that when we create an object like this, when we create an object like this, I said, I said it is called reference variable, not an actual object. So in the same way, I also here gave the reference object, right? It is a reference. It is not, it is a reference variable. It is not an actual, uh, it is not a primitive data type. It is a reference. It means I'm here passing by the reference. So let's see. I've created here. I will create two data objects to show you the difference between pass by value and pass by reference. Okay. First, my R1 will be for pass by value, which says let's give 24 comma 56. Okay, I given right. What happened? Now, what happened? 1 minute. I'm gonna see what's happening. Okay, the actual problem was it is related to static and non-static. I will say what's the error I got when we go into the static. Okay, as of now, I will change the names of every class to passing only because I have given that class name as passing. Uh, Please remind me where to say what the error I got when we are discussing about static. Okay, now let's start. Let's continue our discussion. So, so, so now, as you know, you can see R1 dot new passing 24 comma 56, which is by passed by value, and and I'm going to create R2 for the for my new constructor. Okay, that is when I'm passing the object. Okay, when I'm passing an object that is passed by reference. Okay, passing, I'm gonna pass out. Okay, I hope you understood what I did here. As I have given the parameter as an object, so I can be able to pass the R1 here, right? Now let's see what will happen if you compute the area for both R1 and R2. Okay, is out one dot compute area and is out two dot compute area. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna see. Now it will be more interesting. Okay, good video. Yeah, as you can see, it why first one okay, it gave well 24 into 56, but for the R2 it gave 0. Why? because I'm going to let me switch to whiteboard. I'll say, so first of all, um, let me change the screen here. Yeah. First of all, when I have give R1, right, and I have give R2 here, R1 and R2. In R1, I have passed element passed by variable. So when with the constructor 24 comma some 56 some random variable, I have passed these values, then an object is created. Okay, object is created with R1 with length 24 and breadth 56. Right? Until this, you know what happens. Now, when R2, I pass the value R1 as a reference variable. Then R2, but R2 also an object is created. But R2 also an object is created. But this R1, when it went to the constructor, it is named as rect. And we have given by reference this RECT, rect, will refer to R1, not R2, because it is same as like our pass by reference. We have referred R1 and we have referred R1 object and it will go and refer to the R1 object only. It won't copy the values of R1 to R2. No, it will go and refer the R1 only. That's why for R2, the default values will be 0 itself. For R2, the default values will be 0 itself because rect is referring to R1 only. Rect is not referring to R2. Okay. So hence R4, for R4, length and breadth will be 0. What we are doing here is we're actually passing the R1 reference variable. That is, we are passing the address. And hence, this rect will go to the address of the passed object. Okay. And as R2 also created an object, it will have default variables. That's why our output is 0. Now, what if I give here, let's say rect dot length, equals to 4 and rect dot breadth is equals to 5. Then our output will be 20 because see, as I said, when if you change here, it will also change here 4 and 5. If you change, if you see, if you change here, it will also change in the original value. In the same way, if you change in the main constructor, if you change the values of main constructor, it's gonna be changing in the R1 object only. But R2, it will be our default values only. I understood that this lecture is a bit confusing, but you just need to understand what is meant by passing the values and what is meant by passing the reference. If you understand that, this lecture is very, very easy for you. So please practice this questions, this type of path by reference questions, path by reference per objects, especially, and understand the logic behind it. Okay. I hope you understood this lecture. If you like the content, please subscribe CodeCrazily and also follow me on Instagram. And bye bye until the next lecture.